croyez que ça peut durer? La tempête menace, Monsieur Wayne.
Le cadre ultra fin des téléviseurs LED TCL s'efface pour laisser toute sa place à l'image. Bienvenue à Gotham City.
When I was just a wee lad, Batman '89 wasn't just my favorite movie. It was my favorite anything. And then eventually Joel Schumacher committed a hate crime with Batman and Robin and ruined the entire franchise. And arguably, movies in general. Even with him doing that, I was still oddly offended by the idea of a reboot.
I'm sorry if I'm a little fucking snippy.
That's fine.
I'm hurt and I'm old and I'm fucking tired. And I work with fucking children.
That was until I saw Batman Begins. And outside of how stupid the cowl looked, I mean, honestly, it made Batman look like he had rabies. I thought, wow, this is pretty good, and Batman's back. And then Christopher Nolan won the Nobel Peace Prize and the Congressional Medal of Honor and 11 Academy Awards for The Dark Knight. At least I think that's true. Just don't look it up. Don't Google it. So I thought when I saw the trailers for The Dark Knight Rises, how could this movie not be amazing?
It's done.
Then they totally Jedi'd it. I'm not going to say that this is a bad film, but I'm also not going to say it's a good film. I'm going to say it's The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I don't even need to use my catchphrase for this one because everybody has so many questions about this film. Oop, said it anyways. So let me consult my script. Come to think of it, maybe it's too many questions that my episode might be longer than the movie. Perhaps I need to break this down into consolidated chunks to help keep this thing a little bit shorter than a Ken Burns documentary.
Part 1. Bane and the Sewers.
Our main villain in this film is this vaudeville strongman with a bear trap on his face who works and presumably lives in the sewers. How does one live down there assuming they're not a Ninja Turtle? I mean, does he eat and sleep down there? I can't imagine a worse place to have your Arby's lunch.
Arby's, we have the meats.
Speaking of which, where does he even get any food? I imagine he would draw a lot of attention at the Gotham Panera.
And would you like to add any dessert to your order?
Oh no, I'm not falling for that one.
Sidebar, how does he eat? You think with the gimp mask he had on, he'd be on an all-liquid diet. But that Jack Bastard is clearly on an all-protein diet. How does he recruit his men? Come live the life of Riley in the sewer. You know, rats are really versatile creatures down here. You can use them for sex, food, and their feces make a nice, soft, warm place to sleep. Why does Gordon go down in the sewer to chase Bane by himself? He has a bunch of young, virile SWAT guys with automatic weapons, and instead of them going down, 50-year-old Gordon goes down in his best Burlington Coat Factory two-piece. Oh, I get it. It's because Gordon read the script and realizes that his letter about Dent needed to be given to Bane, which, does he just carry this letter with him everywhere?
Part 2. John Blake knows who Batman is.
We were so excited. Bruce Wayne, billionaire orphan. I mean, we used to make up stories about you, man. Legends. And you know, the other kids, that's all it was, just stories. But right when I saw you, I knew who you really were.
Oh, fuck off.
Part 3. The Stock Exchange.
Now Bane, no last name given, breaks into the stock exchange. No doubt to get revenge on that Pets.com stock he bought about 25 years ago. Actually, Bane is setting up Bruce Wayne to bankrupt him. But why? I know, Ra's al Ghul and the city's corrupt and empires must fall, yada yada yada. But wouldn't it have been better if it appeared that the mistakes that Wayne made affect Wayne Enterprises and not just him? This seems pretty petty, Bane. Do you have a burn book?
Who is that? I think that's that kid Damien.
Yeah, he's almost too gay to function.
That's funny. Put that in there.
And couldn't they have tracked when these stock moves happened and realized that it was when a domestic circus freak with one of Bowser Stockman's Mausers on his face was inside the stock exchange and went, hey, that doesn't seem right. No, I'm no stock expert, but would Wayne really need to be in person to do this stock exchange himself? Do they not have video surveillance to show that Wayne wasn't there that day? How is Bane such an expert on the stock market? When his day job is working knee-deep in human feces, is he really reading The Economist? I mean, a terrorist attack just took place at the stock exchange. Maybe an investigation should take place. Just kidding. They immediately board up his house and cut off his power. That's not really how that works. And they impound his car? There's no way Bruce is still making payments on that sumbitch. He probably paid for it in cash. And I mean, did Bane really make Bruce poor? Couldn't he just sell like 3 or 4 pieces of art and be a millionaire again almost immediately?
Part 4. Cops in the sewers.
Gordon decides it's time to go find Bane. But wait, why didn't they immediately go back in the sewers? You know, the same area that Gordon went down? He could probably help them retrace their steps and get this guy immediately. Gordon could just prove to them that, hey, this is the place where I was being held by goons.
Who is it?
Goons.
Who?
Hired goons.
Hired goons?
But instead, they send every police officer they have down into the underground. Now, everybody has already pointed out how ridiculous this is, but I do want to give it some context. In New York City...
The dedicated detectives who investigate these
No, stop that. Now, where was I? In New York City, there are 40,000 police officers. Gotham is supposed to be bigger than New York, so they probably have around, 55,000 uniformed police officers. So are we really supposed to believe that they send 55,000 men down into the sewers to catch one roided up Mr. Clean with a metal spider on his face? Like, what happens if any other crime happens right now? Like, hey, we're so sorry you got mugged, man, but we had to send 100,000 men down into the sewers.
Part 5. Bane breaks back and Bruce gets put in prison. That's whack.
Catwoman, yeah, she's here too, gets Batman in a trap where he has no choice but to fight Bane. But wasn't Batman's goal to fight Bane in the first place? So exactly how was this a trap? Bane ends up making Batman his little bat bitch, and none of his ninja skills or gadgets can save him. So maybe the whole no guns and no killing thing would have been pretty helpful in reverse right now? Eh, Batsy? So Bane decides not to kill Batman, but instead drags him halfway across the world, not sure how he booked those flights, and took Bruce to watch Gotham burn in a prison that he could conceivably escape. Again, Bane is one petty-ass little bitch, isn't he? Why does Bane also go? There's a TV there. Could he have filmed something like at Gotham Public Access and had his goon show Bruce the tape? I mean, right now, isn't Bane a little busy? I mean, he's like terrorism Santa. This is his busiest time of the year. While his back is broken, Bruce is forced to watch the fall of Gotham. Wait, so Bane destroys business, property, empties the prisons, let convicts hold kangaroo courts against the people of power, has tanks running up and down the streets, but he leaves the mainstream media alone? Isn't the media one of the first things he would have gotten rid of?
Gotham News Network is fake news.
So without any proper medical attention, proper food, or access to clean drinking water, somehow Bruce's back is fixed, and he's stronger than ever in a few months. Do I have this correct? This guy needed a cane just a few weeks ago, and now he's going to make a jump that only one other human being has ever been able to do? And I mean, of course he makes it because, you know, movie. But it would have been awesome if there were just gunmen right at the top of it. In case anybody ever made it, they could just shoot them back down in the hole.
Part 6. The bomb.
And no, I'm not talking about the Rotten Tomatoes from critics on this movie. And to be honest, I'm just going to ignore the fact that Wayne Enterprises built something that could be transformed into a nuclear bomb. Yeah, that should be allowed. But at this point, Batman has one chance to get this bomb out of Gotham. So instead of leaving right away, he lets a cat give him half a hard-on and a rubber codpiece. And then he acts all coquettish with Gordon about his secret identity. Ergo, he could have never gotten the bomb out in time. I mean, I know they want to build tension, but maybe, just maybe, slap an extra minute on there for believability. I mean, the bomb scene in Batman Forever was more believable than this. Yeesh. And Batman takes the bomb out to sea, and it appears that everybody's safe. Unless you know anything about atomic bombs, I sure hope it's not windy that day. You don't want to have to deal with all the nuclear wind draft. And we all know that he fixed the autopilot in the Batwing. But are you telling me that he flew it out into the middle of the ocean after having to get out of the city carrying a heavy-ass bomb and still had time to eject and swim through the ocean to safety? Fuck all the way off with that. And a few months after that, he's sipping espressos in Italy fingering a cat. Woman. Interestingly, in the exact same place of Alfred's fantasy that he mentioned earlier. Oh, you don't remember Alfred's fantasy?
I had this fantasy. I could have had it away with this cracking Judy, my old China. Don't you remember the Crimbo din-din we had with the grubby Scotch bit? She was a trouble and strife, but a Morris dancer lived up the apples and pear.
We have the meats.
Okay, that wasn't it. But it was very similar to the end of this movie. What a fucking mess. A delightful, bizarre, slightly annoying fucking mess. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but what a... They truly did Jedi this sumbitch. Yes, they had to go big, but they ended up going so big they shit all over logic. And I'm sorry to say this, but it does make the middle part of this series, The Dark Knight, seem kind of irrelevant. In the first film, Scarecrow's dropping fear toxin over the entire city. In the third film, Bane is destroying the entire city and has a nuclear bomb. Are you really trying to tell me that in the second film, the Joker blowing up a judge and Batman's bottom is really comparable? Considering the movie had all the time, all the money, and all the creative control, how did we get here? I think I might spend the rest of my life having... yeah, so many questions.